From the Bob Mills Weather Center, the Oklahoma weather expert, David Payne.
Well, as always, it's all about location, right? And some places just getting a ton of rain and wind, while others, not so much, right? So if you're in the right spot, you're getting heavy rain. If not, you're still hot and you're dry. But boy, our trackers are out in it. They have seen winds to over 60 miles per hour in Canadian County. That storm has been severe out there. Some flooding rain. And look at that wall. Look at that waterfall from Jim Gardner. So we have Marty Logan out today, Tom Pastrano, Jeremy Carter. Let's go to Jim Gardner up top, and that is that massive storm. It runs nearly half the length of Canadian County right now from north to south. Jim, heavy rain and damaging winds to 60 miles per hour. Give us an update on that big storm in Canadian County.
Well, that's right, David. Right now I'm sitting on Council Road and Simmons Road north of the Kilpatrick Turnpike. That's the leading edge of this storm right here that's over the top of the Kilpatrick right now. David, as we pan back to the right, like you said, we got a lot of cloud to ground lightning coming up in this also, but this is just a wall of water for as long as you can see all the way back to Okarche where Tom is. It is just almost stationary, David, so there's going to be flooding involved with this, like you said. And, you know, man, look at there's the tail end of it on the north side there. So, again, just a wall of water here, David. We'll keep you updated. Jim Gardner reporting live from Bob Mills, Scotty's 9. Back to you.
That is a lot of rain, which is exactly what we need. It's not going to be everywhere, but if you live in northern and eastern Canadian County, you are getting hammered. All right, that's a good thing going for sure. We need the rain, but not the wind. Let's go to the ground now. Let's check in with Tom Pastrano. And Tom, you've been in it. What have you experienced here in the last half hour? Give us an update. Now you are pretty close to Okarche.
Yeah, that's right, David. You know, this is a lot like yesterday, that storm that sat over Kingfisher. Over Okarche, I have seen some minor flooding. All the streets are passable at this point, but there's just a lot of rain falling in a short amount of time. Back to you.
Yeah, lots of rain. Too much rain. It's hard to believe we're saying that, but you get rain rates at 3 to 4 inches per hour. And, yeah, it doesn't take much. So we'll have some localized flooding here and there. Same old deal. Don't drive into water over any road ever at any time at any part of your life. Just simply put, don't do it, okay? All right, let's get to it here. Links 1, look at Guthrie Cam, bone dry in Guthrie, but off to the west, we can see the heavy rain there. There's our American Fidelity Cam, part of our Pike Pass Skycam network. Look at the anvils here coming off that right side of the storm, the updraft on the rains tucked back in there. All right, so lots of rain falling from Canadian County, all of western and southwestern Oklahoma. It is wet out here. A couple small storms in Garvin County, weakening, just kind of barely hanging on. And then we've got a couple of severe storms up north. But let's talk about Oklahoma City. Now, for most of Oklahoma County, this is not here, right? It's out in Canadian County, but it is heavy rain. And watch this storm just kind of evolve and just kind of go up and down. We've got 3 main cores, one northeast of Okarche, one at Piedmont, and one down between Richland and Yukon. Heavy rain in those 3 pockets. Locally, 2 inches of rain you'll pick up underneath the heavier cells, right? Now, this thing it's not even moving. It's basically growing and stationary. That's why we're going to have some flooding, all right? So it's trying to come in to western Oklahoma County, but it's having a hard time. Heavy rain over Sundance to Piedmont to Surrey Hills, back to Richland, back to Banner. You might have some very small hail. The big threat's going to be lightning, move indoors, and winds 50 to 60 miles per hour. Other storms, not severe, but still intense, running from Greenfield back down, kind of scattered out towards Butler and Custer City, and also out here south and east of Arnett and Cheyenne, Retrop to Hobart. A couple of storms here going up, producing some gusty winds on top of that. And this one severe storm came through Ponca City with winds 50 to 60. It has weakened, no longer severe. And rain amounts across Canadian County, 1 to 2 inches of rain. This is where you're going to have some of that flooding developing here shortly. And out west, we've had pockets of 1 to 2 to nearly 3 inches of rain. All right, so between now and the next several hours, big wave of rain. It will gradually weaken, okay? It will still hang on to that 30% chance for Oklahoma City. But, man, Canadian County west, it is wet. But, again, everything will gradually weaken and just kind of die off as your early to mid-evening move along. Later tonight, might see a little rain into eastern Oklahoma redeveloping. This will be late tonight and into tomorrow morning. That's the way it looks. Lows tonight, 60s and 70s. And then for tomorrow, back up in the mid-90s. 90 forecast, we're going to get a little bit hotter, upper 90s, Saturday and Sunday, low 100s Monday and Tuesday. A nice weather change in 8 to 9 days, cooler weather and more rain and more storms.